All right, Shalom. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachel Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, of great millstone, and salutations to all the hopeful elect, pushing out this word in sincerity and in truth. This is Brother Dequar from the DC camp, coming back at you with another lesson, and I'm entitled this Wise Kings Rulership Mentality. All right, because as the scriptures say, we are a nation. Training to be a nation of kings and priests, us of the hopeful elect. We want to be of the 144,000 who will eventually, be joint heirs with the Lord, ruling the nation of Israel and the rest of the world in the universe, man. Okay? So we are in training for that right now. So we have to have that mindset of a wise king. All right, we have examples of how to do that in the scriptures. So, without further ado, I'm gonna get straight into the scriptures. I want to start with Revelation 5 verse 9. It says, "And they sung a new song, saying, Thou art worthy to take the book and to open the seals thereof, for thou wast slain and hast redeemed us to the Most High by thy blood, out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation, and has made us unto our power kings and priests, and we shall reign on the earth." So Yahweh Shai, he was worthy to loose the seals, man. You know, well, he was worthy to take the book and open the seals or loose the seals, man, because he was slain. So that enabled us to get this knowledge, this wisdom. All right, this wisdom and understanding. That's making us priests and kings into our power, and we're going to be the ones to reign on earth. Now it's important that like I said, wisdom is very very important, man. When it's talking about being a king. This is Ecclesiastes 7 in verse 19. It says, "Wisdom strengtheneth the wise more than 10 mighty men which are in the city." All right. So first things first is wisdom, man. King Solomon, what did he ask the Lord for? He asked the Lord for wisdom on how to judge this people. Then everything else followed him. You see that? Because of his wisdom, the people feared him. What's that? Let me get this real quick. First Kings. mm, this is First Kings 3, and this is after. So I don't want to read the whole thing, but this is when the two women. All right, they had to. They had to figure out. Well, the Lord had to figure out whose son was it, man, between the two women. I mean, well, it is the Lord, but King Solomon, he had to figure out whose son was it, and he made a good judgment. All right, this is First Kings 3:28. I'm just get to the point in the interest of time. It says, "And all Israel heard of the judgment which the king had judged, and they feared the king, for they saw that the wisdom of the Most High was in him to do judgment." All right. So after he made the decision, he knew, whose baby it was. All right, because they both, Jacob tried to get away with some stuff, man. If you don't execute the judgment, so he, being smart, he discerned who child it was, man, and that's because he seeked that wisdom. And what the scripture say, wisdom bringeth forth a kingdom. The desire of wisdom bring forth a kingdom. So we have to have that mentality. Right now, we gather in the wisdom, and the Lord will put us through certain things to help us understand, to actually fully understand what we're learning. But it said that the people saw the wisdom of the God was with him, and they feared. So they saw that Solomon had the wisdom and the courage to do the right thing as a leader, man. That's pretty much another lesson I'm going in on being a leader, which is something that I know I need to work on and just put it in the mind of brothers, man, that we are actually leaders. The scripture said, "I call unto you fathers." You know, and how we fathers, we was there from the beginning, man. We really the heads of our nations. You know, so but that made them hesitant to disobey the law of the king, man, because they knew that he would with wisdom do justice and judgment. You know, and that fear also goes into reverence, man. So they wouldn't do anything to oppose you. You know, they know that they will be afraid when it's a healthy fear if they did anything that was unjust because they knew that you would discover it, man. You know, um, that brings me to this is Proverbs 20 verse 8. It says, "A king that sitteth in the throne of judgment scattereth away all evil with his eyes." You know, so the presence alone of the king in judgment over your realm or domicile, that's enough to scatter away evil, man. When people know that they will be punished, you know, by a godly and just leadership, it makes evil to scatter. And I know brothers even see that now, man. You know, people when you come around, they might not eat certain things, man. They might conduct a certain way just because you coming around. They know how you are, man. And that's us without having any authority. Imagine if we do have authority and we're able to uh, 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 give forth judgment, man. You know, Proverbs 29 verse 4 says, "The king by judgment establisheth the land, but he that receiveth gifts overthrow it." Yeah, by your judgment, you establish the land, man. You know, but if you taking gifts, you allow people to just do whatever they want based upon what they're able to provide for you. That's going to overthrow your land, and that's why America is being overthrown right now, man. Sirach 10 verse 1, it says, "A wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers, and what manner of man the ruler of that city is, such are all they that dwell therein." All right. So a wise judge, or a wise ruler, is going to order your people aright, man. You know. But what verse 3 says is, "An unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited." And the Lord is going to set over one that's profitable in due time, and that starting with our Lord, and we're going to be joint heirs, man. Jeremiah 23 verse 4 it says, "And I will set up shepherds over them which shall feed them, and shall fear no more, and they shall fear no more, nor be dismayed, neither shall they be lacking, saith Yahweh. Behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that I will raise unto David a righteous branch, and a king shall reign and prosper, and shall execute judgment and justice in the earth." You know, and that's Solomon coming back as Yahweh Shai, man. And we're going to be joint heirs and shepherds with him, you know? That's is what we or what we training up to be, man. You know? And we know that we gotta, like King Solomon, man, you gotta be wise, you gotta use wisdom and ask for discernment when making judging the people, man. Because hey, what your certain judgments is going to set precedence for how people is going to move. Um, This is Proverbs 16, verse 10. It says, "A divine sentence is in the lips of the king. His mouth transgressive not in judgment." So it's important that you judge according to the law, statutes, and commandments of the Lord, man. You know, because a divine sentence is in your lips, man. What you say is how things is going to be ordered, man. But that's why you got to go according to the Lord. So when we, um, what is it? What's the scripture? Um, let me think. Well, let me get this real quick. This is Second Kings 23 verse 3. It says, "And the king stood by a pillar and made a covenant before Yahweh to walk after Yahweh and to keep his commandments and his testimonies and his statutes with all their heart and all their soul, to perform the words of the covenant that are written in this book." And all the people stood to the covenant. Hey, so hey, and that's partly, and that's what we doing as well, man. You know, we making an agreement with the Lord to follow his statutes, man. Cause hey, ultimately it's the Lord that's setting us up, man. You know, and we gotta believe that. If the Lord put us in this position, we gotta believe that. Matter of fact, Proverbs 8:15 says, "By me kings reign and princes decree justice. By me princes rule and nobles, even all the judges of the earth." So if he's setting us up, you know, we gotta follow after what he says, man. And what we gotta attain into godly counsels as well. Proverbs 11 verse 14 says, "Where no counsel is, the people fall, but in the multitude of counselors there is safety." You know, so now we learning how, hey, what brothers, you know, you take two witnesses, you know, you pretty much converse with brothers, man. What does this mean? What does this mean? How should I react to this? You know, and like I said, keep in mind the whole time that we're going to rule a certain portion of the kingdom, man. You know, we represent the kingdom of heaven. Wisdom of Solomon 6 verse 24 says, "But the multitude of the wise is the welfare of the world, and a wise king is the upholding of the people." You see that? So the multitude of the wise is the upholding of the world. You know, and a wise king, which we are trying to be, is the upholding of the people. So we got to get it for ourselves, man. You know, and by us, that's how everybody else is gonna, you know, be established, man. And that's a beautiful thing. See, but hey, like I said, and like the scriptures say, rather, you know, you got to attain into certain counsels, man. You know, Ecclesiastes 4 and verse 13 says, "Better is a poor and wise child than an old and foolish king who will no more be admonished." Yeah, just because you got a certain position don't mean you can't learn more, man. You know, don't be a foolish king, man, because we've had those. Salakia. Salakia. Yeah, but like I said, we've had those, man. Psalm 72 in verse 1, it says, Give the king thy judgments, O power, and thy righteousness unto the king's son. He shall judge the people with righteousness and with and thy poor with judgment." Right. You know? Hey, unlike this place, man, this place doesn't care about righteousness and the poor, man. And that's why they're gonna be destroyed. You know? Um, this is Proverbs 28 and 16. It says, the prince that wanteth understanding is also a great oppressor, but he that hateth covetousness shall prolong his days. Yeah, yeah. If you still seeking for the understanding, you ain't getting it. You know. Well, it says wanteth. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't have it. He lacks it. You know. You gonna become an oppressor, man. And this has happened. Matter of fact, let me get this scripture. I think it's Rehoboam. I could say, but this has happened. Well, one didn't attain it to wise counsels, man. First Kings 12. No, I don't want to. I'm going to just start from the top. It says, "And Rehoboam went to Shechem, for all Israel were come to Shechem to make him king. And it came to pass when Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, who was yet in Egypt, heard of it, for he was fled from the presence of King Solomon, and Jeroboam dwelt in Egypt, that they sent and called him. And Jeroboam and all the congregation of Israel came and spake unto Rehoboam, saying, Thy father made our yoke grievous. Now therefore make thou the grievous service of thy father, and his heavy yoke which he put upon us lighter, and we will serve thee. And he said unto them, Depart ye for 3 days, and then come again to me. And the people departed. So they saying, if you lighten the yoke on us, this oppression, then we will serve thee. And it says in King Rehoboam, verse 6, and King Rehoboam consulted with the old men that stood before Solomon his father while he yet lived, and said, How do you advise that I should answer this matter? So he did the right thing and seek counsel. You know? It says, And they spake unto him, saying, If thou wilt be a servant unto this people this day, and wilt serve them, and answer them, and speak good words to them, then they will be thy servants forever. But he forsook the counsel of the old men which they had given him, and consulted with the young men that were grown up with him, and which stood before him. So they gave him the right words, man, that these people would serve thee. And we got from the Lord the example that, hey, the Lord was the king. He's the king of all kings, man. But he still served us. When you in that role, you still are service, you know, and ministers unto the people. And that's how that's how your kingdom is established. You know, it's not, everybody just, it's for the benefit of you. When your people's taken care of, you gonna be even more taken care of, man. You know, it says, and he said unto them, What counsel give ye, that we may answer this people who have spoken to me, saying, Make the yoke which thy fathers did put upon us lighter? And the young men that were grown up with him spake unto him, saying, Thus shalt thou speak unto this people that spake unto thee, saying, Thy father made our yoke heavy, but make thou it lighter unto us. Thus shalt thou say unto them, My little finger shall be thicker than my father's loins. And now, whereas my father did lade you with a heavy yoke, I will add to your yoke. My father have chastised you with whips, but I will chastise you with scorpions. So he tried to make it worse, man. You see? This man tried to make it worse on them. And so now, like the scripture say, when they're wicked in authority, the people mourn. But when the righteous bear fruit, the people rejoice, man. So what he's doing is he's going to have the people in mourning. Okay? That was it on that part. But you want to the people is going to be the ones praying for you, man. Matter of what's this is yeah, First Timothy 2 verse 1. It says, I exhort therefore that first of all supplications, prayers, intercessions, and giving of thanks be made for all men, for kings, and for all that are in authority, that we may lead a quiet and peaceable life in all godliness and honesty. You know, so they will pray for the kings and the ones that's in authority. You know, that they can live that godly and peaceful life. You know, you don't want to be. Hey, we already see the bad examples of a wicked and an unwise king now, man. You know, we got to be smart, man. I think that's pretty much what I wanted. Yeah. So I'm gonna close on. Yeah, I'm gonna close on this. This is Psalms 99 verse 4. It says, The king's strength also loveth judgment. Thou doest establish equity. Thou executed judgment and righteousness in Jacob. All right. So we love judgment, man. You know. and establish equity. Let me get that word because Rashad Kassab, he loves getting that word equity. There was Psalms 99 and 4. Mayashar. Mayashar. Evenness, uprightness, straightness, equity, smoothness, rightly. The quality of being fair and impartial, you know? So it says, the king's strength also loveth judgment. Thou dost establish equity. Thou executed judgment and righteousness in Jacob. And that's what we plan on doing. And we learning that now, you know? Matter of fact, let me close on this one. This is, wait, 5 second. All right. This is Psalm 45 verse 6. It says, thy throne, O power, is forever and ever. The scepter of thy kingdom is a right scepter. Thou lovest righteousness and hatest wickedness. Therefore, uh, the Most High, thy power, hath anointed thee with oil of gladness above the fellows. All right. So, hey, because because we gonna because we love his righteousness and hate his wickedness, the Lord's gonna anoint us, man. You know, and put us above our fellows, man. And that's what we want to be. We want to be those kings and priests that you know that was prophesied, man. We want to be of that number, the 144,000. That's going to judge the people, be the government of the kingdom to come. But it all starts with what we doing now, man. All right. So with that, Lord willing, that was an edifying lesson. Until the next one, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham Hakadash. And I want to say until the next one, Shalom.